Namaste, my dear student. I am Mohan Gautam, your English teacher, permanently from Matsapusar Rural Municipality, Dhital, 6 Kaskini Pole. First of all, thanks for clicking and welcome to today's lesson on Unit 4 If There Is One Thing from Class 12 Meaning into Words. Okay, look at here on the screen, my dear students. Well, exercise number 4.4, students' book. If there is one thing, right? My dear students, now, before we begin doing the answer or writing the answer from your students' book, you are supposed to know some basic structure, right? Look at here. Non-defining subjects begins with if sentence begin with people, police, someone, somebody, no one, nobody, etc. As that situation, we are supposed to apply this structure. Look at here. If there is one thing, if there is one thing that plus verb 5 plus object plus its people or someone plus who plus Bhagwan plus object. This is structure we are going to use if the given subject begins with people, police, someone, somebody, no one, nobody, etc. So memorize this structure. Similarly, we have another rules also here. Definite subjects. If the subject begin with name of the person, yeah, you can see on the screen Ramesh, Syam, Naresh, Resma, Nita, Gita, Sita, etc. Anyone, if they come, is okay, defining a particular person, or even she, he, you, I, we, they, etc. come as a subject. At that situation, we are supposed to apply this structure. Look at here, the structure. If there is one thing that every time we begin our answer with this, if there is one thing that plus subject, then subject is what? As we discussed before, definite subject, okay, is given above, plus verb plus its plus people or someone plus who plus Bhagwan plus object. Okay, this is the structure that we have to apply when we write answer of the question given in your exercise in students book. Got it? Okay, my dear students, now look at here on the screen. Write these sentences. Write these sentences beginning with if there is one thing. This is the question model even asked in your NEB examination or board examination. Then look at the question very first. People who smoke in restaurants annoy me. See another question. People who are cruel to animals upset me. People who break promises make me angry. And I hate people who smoke in restaurants. So these four are the questions very first we are going to deal with. Now we have to write an answer of them by using if there is one thing. Now, as I just told you before, look at number one. People who smoke in restaurants annoy me. Attitude verb is here annoy. Yeah, the attitude verb is here what? Annoy. So you begin the sentence every time. Very first, what? If there is one thing. If there is one thing that, if there is one thing that, so which structure 1 or structure 2 you are going to apply here? Obviously structure number 1, because the sentence begin with people, which is non-defining subject. So we have to apply structure number 1. So very first, without any doubt, we are going to write if there is one thing. Yeah, if there is one thing we write. Okay, and what do you write? If there is one thing that, the attitude verb is here annoy. If there is one thing that annoys me, we need verb 5 here as the strokes are given to us. Okay, if there is one thing that annoys me, this is object. It's people. Okay, we write it from the structure. It's people who who smoke in restaurants. Who smoke in restaurant. Okay, this is the answer of number 1. Okay, now let's have a look this answer here on the screen as well. Yeah, if there is one thing that annoys me, it's people who smoke in restaurants. Got it? Well, my dear students, now look at number 2. Look at the question very first. People who are cruel to animals upset me. Yeah, the attitude verb given in this question is upset. Notice this word upset very fast. After finding this attitude verb, now we have to go back to the here to write answer. Okay, always we begins with if there is one thing. Okay, if there is one thing that we can write from the structure that we had. If there is one thing. Okay, after writing this, now decide the subject begins with what? People. This is also non-defining subject. Okay, if there is non-defining subject, we have to use the structure number first. Okay, so write the first structure. So here, if there is one thing, if there is one thing, if there is one thing that annoys, if there is one thing that upsets, okay, there must be what? Upset. If there is one thing that upsets me, it's people who are cruel to animal. Okay, now let's have a look this answer here on the screen. Yes, if there is one thing that upsets me, it's people who are cruel to animals. Okay, my dear student, here you can write if there is one. You can write contracted form. Okay, basically. Okay, or even you can write this full form also. Okay, if there is or there is. Okay, contracted form or even full form. Okay, doesn't matter. Well, now look at the next one here, number 3. People who break promises make me angry. Okay, here also look at the subject. Subject begins with people. This is also what? Non-defining subject, not indicating a particular person. Okay, so this is what? Non-defining subject. Okay, so we have to use structure number 1. Okay, so write with if there is one thing. Okay, from the structure given, if there is one thing that, if there is one thing that makes me angry, it's people who break promises. Okay, now let's look at this answer. If there is one thing that makes me angry, it's people who break promises, right? Who break promises. Look at here. So as I told you before, here you can write contracted or full form. Okay, if there apostrophe yes, here also if there apostrophe yes, or here also if there might be there apostrophe yes. Okay, there is, there is, there is. Okay, don't be confused with this. Okay, now look at question number 4. I hate people who smoke in restaurants. Well, now you have to notice the subject here. Okay, in above 3 sentences, subject begins with people, here also people, here also people. Okay, they are non-defining subject. They are not indicating a particular one. But here in question number 4, you see subject I. This is one of the definite subject. Okay, defining subject. Okay, if this subject comes, okay, what structure we have to apply? Of course, we are going to apply structure number 2 as we discussed before. Okay, now I hate people who smoke industrial. Very first, okay, apply this structure. Okay, if there is one thing that up to there you can write from the structure. If there is one thing that now subject is I, that I hate, then from the structure, it's people you can write yourself. From the structure, it's people. Then who smoke in restaurant? Who plus here Bob one. Who smoke in restaurants? Okay, this is how we can do or we can write the answer of number 4. Yes, you can also see the answer here on the screen as well. Please look here. If there is one thing if there is one thing that I hate, it's people who smoke in restaurants. Got it? Well, now let's jump to question number 5. Okay? Question number 5. First, read out the question given here on the screen. I detest people who interrupt when I'm speaking. I detest. Detest means dislike. Okay? You don't like. People who interrupt, okay, when just somebody is speaking, right? So here question says what? I detest people who interrupt when I'm speaking. So here the subject, notice the subject very fast. Okay, our subject is here what? Okay, look at the subject. I subject. Okay, this I subject is, okay, definite subject. Okay, particular subject. So we are supposed to use second structure. Okay, second structure. So if there is one thing that, okay, if there is one thing that up to there you can write from the structure that I is the subject. Okay, the subject is what? I. If there is one thing that I detest, okay, detest, this is attitude verb. I detest, it's people. Also from structure you can bring, who it's people who interrupt. Okay, who interrupt when I'm speaking. You can add this one from the question, who interrupt when I'm speaking, right? Okay, even you can see the answer on the screen as well, here on the screen, my dear students. Just look here, the answer. Yeah, if there is one thing that I detest, it's people who interrupt when I am speaking. Yeah, come to number 6. Question number 6. I loathe, I loathe people who ring me up early in the morning. Yeah, here also the subject is what? Subject is I. This is a definite subject, a particular subject using a pronoun I. I loathe. Loathe means, okay, also showing your, okay, disrespect, or let's say so you hate. Okay, so you hate, you don't like it. Okay, you irritate it. So here I loathe people who ring me up early in the morning. Here also, if there is one thing that you write from structure, if there is one thing that I loathe, that I loathe, it's people. Okay, it's people who ring me, who plus verb one, who ring me up early in the morning, right? This is the answer. Please have a look this answer here on the screen. Okay, now just we have the answer of the 6 questions. Okay, so I kindly request you all, my dear student, to copy them in your English note copy. Okay, which will help you in the time of your NB examination. Okay, my dear students, this much for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you. See you soon. Bye bye. Have a wonderful time ahead.